Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning. I love to go to Tuesday mornings, don't y'all? Okay. I don't feel good. I look like crapola. Y'all know what crapola looks like, right? And it's raining. It is raining today, which I'm so thankful for. We need the rain. We need to feed our cattle and our horses. So we like that. Anytime that it rains and stuff will start growing, that means I don't have to put out feed. Okay, how are you guys this morning? I have my humidifier going. I have my essential oils going, and they don't seem to bother Serbs. He's not been sick at all. He doesn't get lethargic. Haven't had any issue with that whatsoever, so he's doing fine with it. It's over in the corner with the coffee, and it does not, yeah, it's in the room. I can smell it. But it's not like landing on him, directly. So he doesn't seem to be affected by it. And I bring that up because I've had people ask me. Today I have my Texas cup. And I do have my crazy cup. I do have the K cup, let me tell you. And I put a little bit of creamer in it today. And today it's another crazy cup, and this one is frosted oatmeal cookie. And no sugar, honey. I mean, there's nothing like that in there, just the creamer. Vanilla almond creamer. This is by Crazy Cups. And so far I'm really liking the flavors with the Crazy Cups. The Crazy Cups and the Barneys. Those are the two that I'm really liking. And I have looked them up on Amazon again. And I don't know whether I can get the decaf. I've seen the regular, but I don't know that I can get the decaf. So we'll see. Like outside of the variety pack. But this one's really good. I'm thankful that even though I'm all stopped up again, that I can still smell. I'm in my jammies, and that's why I have, well, a couple reasons. Number one, I'm in my jammies. Number two, I look like crap. And number three, I thought I'd pretty it up with a shawl. That's it. I'm prettying it up with the shawl. This is the Life Changes shawl by Laura, who is Lollipop Girl Yarn on Etsy. Her name is Laura Concert, and I believe that's her Instagram also. But anyway, that is, and this, you will have seen this in all of my intros on my channel, and that's the shawl. And I did it with honeybee knits, and I did it with some sparkle yarn by a young girl that was dyeing yarn that I wanted to support, Raspberry Knits. Yeah, that was the in-between. Can't remember what the name of that color was. So anyway, that's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm drinking. This is really good. Oatmeal cookie. Oh. Now, I wanted to tell you guys that I have been taking this, that the doctor recommended for me, for people with high blood pressure. So high blood pressure, as it's quercetin HBP. so high blood pressure. And I found this formula. This is the maximum strength, cold, flu, and chest congestion. This formula is working really well. It's got like a coral pearl color to it. And but I'm going to have to get some more because I'm just about out of it again. I was really hoping, because I felt a little better yesterday and went for a walk. And I was hoping that I was going to do better. And guess what? Today, it's another day. It's another day. In my sack from Naughty Knitting Sacks, made by Katie, I have our Poncho project. Yesterday we picked Ferris wheel in Morning Java, which is perfect for this project. Y'all, if you've not ever worked with this Ferris wheel, you need to. This is really nice. And I would suggest, if you're looking for a bargain, I wouldn't pay full price for the Ferris wheel, because very often the Lion Brand yarns go on sale in different various places. For instance, I noticed there were some, not the Ferris wheel, but I noticed that there were some Lion Brand yarns that were in clearance or on sale at Hirschner's. So you might try keeping an eye on those. But yeah, this one's called Morning Java. Again, I'm using a J hook. Gotta turn my little fan on. It's chilly, so I've got the heater back on again. But at the same time, I feel stuffy, so I'm having to still have my little fan on. It is what it is, y'all. So I also have a floor fan, and sometimes if it's stuffy but it's not hot enough that I need to turn on the air conditioner, I can just turn the floor fan and my little side fan on, and I'm good to go. I have these little side fans on everywhere. It's a little, I'll show you. It's a little metal one. You can, I have one of them mounted above my computer over there, and I have one here. I have one next, I used to have one next to my bed. I will take one with me when I go to Colorado, or especially when I go to Chelsea's in Louisiana. But I usually travel with these. And it's just enough air. And they're usually fairly quiet. Most of the time you guys don't hear them. If I turn that floor fan on, I know you will hear it. And I will use my floor fan even when I do the heater. Serbs wants some attention. I thought you guys might like to see Serbs. I love you too, Bubby. I love you too. I know it. In the mornings, I've been putting, this is the stool that is in front of my, there you go. That's in front of my chair. So in the mornings, a lot of times he's been getting up here and while I drink my coffee, and yeah, isn't that right? Yeah, Bobby. I know it. He my big chunky boy. He's my big chunky boy. I know. He's really a licker. A lot of people don't like that. It doesn't bother me. The licking doesn't bother me. He wants to lay up here. He wants to be a lap dog. I know it. And he moans and he groans. I know, Bobby. I know it. Oh, yes. He's such a comfort to me, you guys. Such a comfort. That's my big boy. Now he's back on the floor and he's doing the walk around on his back. Oh, maybe we'll get to walk again the next day or so. We went from 80, yes, 80 to 40s today. Okay, let me update you. I'm on row 2 of the Ferris wheel color. I had to laugh the other day. Y'all, did you hear that pop? I have up on my shelf over here on this side, I have buttons. And I inherited a whole lot of buttons from my mother-in-law. And Mr. Fiber went through and he took all the colors apart. He separated the colors. He's really good, you guys, at doing the tedious things. So like separating the buttons like that. Whenever I frog something, he wants to do that because he's very tedious. It's the tedious work. Sit down and kind of pull everything out. He'll frog stuff for me. He likes to take apart the sweaters. I've told you about that. He likes that kind of thing. It's really interesting. Anyway, I was watching Penny from Penny Ann's Creations, and there was a pop in the background. She goes, if you're someone who does canning, putting food back, you'll know that sound. And I thought, I do know that sound because those jars are the jars that I have the buttons in. And when it gets warm in here, or when it gets, like the pressure and the weather, temperature change, like going from 80 yesterday, those one or two of them will pop. Get your bone? Okay, Bubby. He got his bone. He's going to lay over there with his bone. And I am going to call the doctor, but I don't want to go today. I will go tomorrow, but I will call the doctor today. So don't worry. I know some of you are going, what? Why haven't you been back to the doctor? Because I felt better yesterday. It's been up, down, up, down. And everybody's got it. Okay. On these 7 rows, I'm going to tell you this, and then I got a couple things else to talk about. On these 7 rows, this is actually day 5. But I had told you guys we're going to call this 5-6 because the rounds are getting much bigger, which means it's taking longer for me to get through them. 29 through 35. And I am not going to do any design whatsoever, no alternate stitches. And I'm not going to increase. So I'm going to do 7 straight rows of double crochet from row 29 through row 35. So that's all 7 rows of the 5th color, all 7 rows. Okay? And this will be 5 and 6 chat. Because I don't know how far the Ferris wheel is going to go yet. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I had a question yesterday, and I wanted to talk about that. I'm doing this poncho. for the month of love. So it's only fitting that I tell you, and because thank you, Mary, I had a question about when Mr. Fiber and I met, our story, how we met. And I don't mind at all talking about our story. Some of you have already heard it. I did tell our story once before. It's been a couple years ago. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it again. That is good. Basically, the short of it, we met online. Okay? But here's how it went. I was getting a divorce from my daughter's husband. My daughter's, well, that would be really messed up. My girls' father, I was getting a divorce. So I met Mr. Fiber in the middle of the divorce. Mr. Fiber is my third husband, so 3 times the charm. My first husband and I were married for 3.5 years. He could not have children, and I wanted children. He also, well, we'll just leave it at that for the moment. And there were some very good reasons why I needed to divorce him. And then the girls' father would be my second husband, and Mr. Fiber is my third husband, and final, and soulmate, and my rock. I was separated from the girl's father and going through a lot of really bad stuff. A lot of bad stuff. And I had discovered where you could speak to people. You know, I got my first computer in 2000. That's if you heard a little blah, 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 that's the humidifier settling. So right around 2000 is when I got my first computer. And then I got another one, and it's just, you know, by 2004, I had learned that you could actually not only have emails, but some of the instant messaging ability had started. There were a lot of chat rooms going on. I first learned that you could talk to other people online when I was playing, what was I playing? I was playing some sort of a card game. I don't remember which one it was. And when you were playing that game, there was also a chat that went along with it, which meant that someone who I was playing cards with, I could also talk to while we played cards. And this was fascinating to me. And so naturally it progressed from there to talking to lots of different people in chat rooms. And so there was a site where you could put up a profile, and I'm not going to discuss all of those. I'm not going to talk about which one it was, but that's what I had done. I was separated and started divorce proceedings, And I was dating. I was already dating at that point. My children were living with their father. Was not my choice. We're not going to get into all of that either. I feel that it's best for my girls, my children, my girls. They're adults. I don't think it's right to, get into all of that. They have their own relationship with their father, and I would never come between them and their father. So we're not going to get into that, other than to say that he did mistreat me. Okay? So it was not physical, but it was mistreatment, both during and after. And I'm going to leave it at that. I had mistreatment from the first husband. I had mistreatment from the second husband. So here I was in the middle of all of that, and I put up this profile. Well, it's going to sound funny, but I saw Mr. Fiber's profile, and he was in Texas, and I saw that it was in Knox City, and I thought, I don't know where that is. So I looked up where it was, and I thought, well, it's not too far. So I went ahead and I sent him an email. I messaged him through this site. And so we started, talking back and forth and messaging with each other. And it developed from there. And then I started dating someone. I was talking to him, and I was working. And I was getting my children on the weekends, sometimes during the week, but I was working full time. I was seeing the lawyer when I needed to see the lawyer. It was all the stuff that you go through with a divorce. There was a lot going on in my life. And for some reason, I had felt kind of like Knox City was way too far away. In reality, it was about an hour and a half from where I lived. And that just seemed like too far. So I had I had talked to someone closer to me and went out with someone closer to me, and then I told Mr. Fiber, I said, well, I met this local guy, da-da-da-da-da-da. And he was like, well, crap. All this talking, really liked this one, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, and we're some local guy. Fine. So he closed out everything, and we didn't talk to each other for a little while, but he didn't block me or anything like, it wasn't nasty, nothing like that. He was just like, okay, so whatever. And then something really terrible had happened. I was really down, and I was off work. It was in August. I separated in 2004, and this was August of 2005. And I can't tell you really how long Mr. Fiber and I had been talking, but I went into, my emails and stuff, and that I went onto that website, and I noticed that he was online. And so I sent him a message and said, how are you doing? And I told him, I said, and I was honest. I said, well, the thing with this local guy did not work out, blah, blah, blah. And I said, would it still be okay for us to meet up somewhere? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, so, do you want me to meet you at a restaurant? And he said, well, it's a really small town. Okay. Well, is there a restaurant in town? Well, yeah, kind of, but it's a really small town. Every other thing he said was, it's a really small town. So it wasn't that he didn't want to meet me in public, but he didn't want to meet me in public in this town. Because everybody knows everybody, and they know all your stuff, and he didn't want to do that. It was like, okay. So I got in the car, and now as talking to him, I knew, and I'm sorry guys, I gotta blow my nose. While talking to him for as long as I did, I knew that he worked on computers, and I was having problems with my computer. I packed up my computer. This was my excuse. I was going to go see this guy and get my computer worked on. Right? So I packed up my computer. I had a cell phone, all that stuff. And I came out here, and it was the weekend I came out here. It was the middle of August, and it was raining bad. It had been raining for days. And one of the reasons he was home on the computer was he had been going to the car show. And he would go to the car show every year. I gotta put my feet up because my leg's falling asleep. Okay. But it was raining so badly, he decided on that. This was on a Sunday, and he had decided that's it. He'd gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday to the car show. He said that's it. He was done. And he was at home. Well, we live on a dirt road. If you've followed me for a while, you know we live on a dirt road. And I got here, he would given me instructions on how to get here, yada yadas. And I got to the end of the dirt road, and I thought, oh. And I had a minivan at that time. I had the mom minivan. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, I got to go down this road. And he had told me, just stay in the middle and go slow. And this was my first experience with a really, really muddy road. It wasn't covered in water, but it was certainly muddy. And I turned onto the dirt road, and I got into the middle, and I just started to go slow. And at that point, I lost any kind of coverage with my cell phone too. Was a little scary. I was a little scared at that point because I was like, okay, I was in I had a couple of friends that I was girlfriends, and told them where I was going, all that stuff, had his contact information, all of that stuff, was in contact with them. Okay, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And then, boop, right at the dirt road, nothing. So, anyway, made it down the dirt road, and that was an experience. And I got to the house, and As I got up to the front of the house, he was coming out of the house and he was walking down the walkway in the front of the house, the walk. And he looks up at me and he still has that look. There's a certain look that he does when he kind of looks, not like he's looking down and looking up necessarily, but there's just kind of a look. And he looked over at me and I was like, oh crap. So I get out of the car and I grab my stuff and I walk into the house with him, and immediately I felt safe and comfortable with him. And like we just started talking and talking. We sat down on the couch and we talked and we talked. And to this day, at later down the road, you know, with after more visits, both of us decided to start calling that moment when I looked at him and he gave me that look, that was our oh shit moment. And we decided that we were now toast. We were toast. There was nothing we could do about it. It was a done deal. We were toast. But neither one of us would say it for quite a while. But we knew we were toast no matter what. And it's just a thing. And I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to. That's the best I can do. And that I'm just telling you what happened, and that is what happened. We talked and we talked and we talked, and when I walked into the house and I was around him and here at this farm, it was almost like somebody you've known for a really, really long time. And it was also, as our relationship went, it was almost like I knew him, but I had been looking for him. Okay? So like, I used to talk to myself, and I still do. But it's almost like that's who I was talking to. Like, you know, like your best friend, that person you can tell anything to, you know. And so it was just an immediate connection. Immediate. So the month of love and doing this project with Mr. Fiber, where he's picking the yarns out for me and helping me decide on what to make and all of that, and we've always made decisions together. Always. And I'm one of these people, I don't know about you guys. Everybody's situation is different. And I am a much stronger person now than I was then. Because at that point, then, I was a mess. I was a real mess. But even though I consider myself to be a strong person, that I have made it through a lot now with his help, and I'm not the person that I was then. I don't like to make decisions. So it's hard for me to make a final decision. So like, okay, well, I've got this choice and I've got that choice, and I've weighed out all the things and kind of weeded through a lot of stuff. But when it gets right down to it, making that going through and saying, okay, we're going this way, that's hard for me. And Mr. Fiber knows me well enough and has always had my best interest and our best interest together. He's always had those as priority. So when there's a decision that is made, it's really our decision, but I like for him to make the final decision. It's like, you just step over and go, that's the right one. He usually knows. Anyway, it's just what a way I like it. It's just what works for us. I do make decisions. It's not that I don't make any. I do. But it's so much better when you have someone to, you know, and I know how hard it is. I remember my mother-in-law who lived by herself so long after she and Mr. Fiber's father, after they split up, and she would talk about how it was really hard for her, even as far out from how long they had been apart, that she really missed that talking about the kids and what the kids were doing, and you know, the things that were going on in their life and that kind of thing, that she missed that. And she missed the companionship, and she had someone after, but he didn't really know the kids the way she knew the kids, you know. She used to talk about that. Personally, that's not me. I have my relationship with the kids. First of all, I'm the one who took care of the kids. And again, I'm not going to get into all that, but I don't really feel like I need their father's input on anything, really. I talked to Mr. Fiber about everything, and that's good enough for me. So, anyway. Yeah, that's how we met. We were toast. We were toast. We had our oh shit moment, and then we were toast. Oh, goodness. So that is how Mr. Fiber and I met. That is our story, and we've been together now. Okay, so I said it was 05, right? And this is 2023. That's 18 years. Is that right? I don't know if I'm doing the math right, but I think that's 18 years. Two 2005 to 2010. 2015. 2020. That's 15 years. And this is 23, so that's 18. And guess what? The girl's father and I were together for 17 years. So that means in August, now our anniversary, we got married a year late. I think it was a year later. I believe we got married in either 06 or 07. I don't even remember. My thing is that when we met, August 13, 2005 is when we met. Our oh shit moment happened, and that's the one that he and I both are like, that's the one. That's how long we've been together. And that's just how we do it. But anyway, we got married, I think it was in 07. And forget what I was going to say now. Struggling. I'm struggling here. I need to get another cough drop. Let me get another cough drop. Maybe that'll help. Oh, goodness. And my eyes are watering. Okay, so if you guys have any other questions that you would like me to talk about, I would love to do that. Just put a comment down below. I have picked out the names from last week for all of the from all the comments from all the videos. So now I'm starting with Monday. So I'll go from Monday to Sunday of this week, and then every day I will pull a name from the comments. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to put all the names. I've pulled the names, but I haven't got my jar together. But I'm going to put all those names that I pulled for the comments from each day. And I'll put their name on a piece of paper and put it in a jar. And then I'm going to pull from the jar, probably have Mr. Fiber pull the name from the jar. And I'll have a winner at the end of the month of February, at the end of this series. And I've got a really nice project bag, and I'll have some hand-dyed yarn and some other goodies that I'm going to give away. So be sure you get your comments in every week on all of the videos that you can, all of those that you can watch. I understand everybody is busy, and there's a lot to watch and a lot to do, so I understand that. And I'm going to let you guys go. And I thank you so very much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to my OGs. I appreciate every view, every like, every subscribe, every share. But I really just do this to come and chat with y'all. That's why I really am enjoying this one, because I can just sit and talk to y'all. That's what I really want to do anyway. Okay. Y'all have a great day. Have fun today, and I'll see you later.